Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the Doctor Who 60th Anniversary Special Part 1, The Star Beast. Doctor Who is celebrating its 60th anniversary with 3 special episodes featuring for the first time an actor returning as a new Doctor. In the lead up to Ncuti Gatwa taking over the role, fan favorite David Tennant is back as the 14th Doctor, 13 years after regularly playing Doctor number 10. Tennant last appeared in the 50th Anniversary Special in 2013 alongside 11th Doctor Matt Smith and War Doctor John Hurt. We saw Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor regenerate at the end of The Power of the Doctor, and no one was more surprised to see that familiar face than the Doctor himself. The first of these specials is titled The Star Beast, and I'm gonna break it down for all the Easter eggs, references, and deeper layers of meaning that you might have missed. But before we get started, this breakdown was actually written by one of the nerdiest Doctor Who experts I know, Gina Ippolito, who I first met over 10 years ago at her old comedy theater in LA as she was doing an improv show called Doctor Who Live that I totally did not understand at the time, but I quickly realized how smart she was, and thank God I met her because I'm still catching up on Doctor Who. I'm not really the expert, Gina is, and I'm just grateful to have Gina on our team. Thank you to Gina for writing this. So David Tennant isn't the only one returning for these specials. Catherine Tate is back as companion Donna Noble. Donna's run with the Doctor ended tragically, although not as tragically as some of the others who have traveled with the Doctor. R.I.P. Audric. Russell Davies, the original showrunner of the new era, is also back, which fans are also very excited about. These three together again, you know it's going to be amazing. Davies was the showrunner when Tennant and Tate were cast and is responsible for some of the most memorable storylines of the series. So a very, very brief primer for the uninitiated. The Doctor is an alien from the planet Gallifrey. He is the last of the Time Lords, a humanoid race that could travel through time and space, visiting different worlds or historical eras. Instead of dying, Time Lords regenerate into new versions of themselves. This is essentially a way to recast the actor over and over again. The Doctor travels through time and space in a TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimensions in Space. The TARDIS can transform into anything, but our Doctor's TARDIS is stuck looking like an old police box. The Doctor usually travels with a companion, or several, and usually, but not always, a person from Earth in the year that whatever season of the show is happening. Okay, now with that out of the way, we open on the Doctor giving a recap of his time with Donna Noble. The Doctor's current outfit and hairstyle is reminiscent of the one that he wore as the 10th Doctor, with a blue shirt, blue overcoat, and Converse sneakers. The Doctor only buttons the top button of his waistcoat. Apparently David Tennant insisted on this. He also chose the fabrics his suit is made from. It was designed as a very classically Doctor outfit, but not entirely the old look reproduced, as Russell T. Davies says. This is actually the first time that the Doctor's clothes change from regenerating. Typically, the Doctor chooses new clothes. This time, Whittaker's clothes turned into Tennant's clothes. Russell Davies stated that this was out of a concern with seeing Tennant and Whittaker's clothes and that it might kind of look like a mockery. He feared that moment would be weaponized and that, quote, the notion of men dressing in women's clothes, the notion of drag is very delicate and has to be done with immense thought and respect. Still, it indicates that there's something different about this regeneration other than just the fact that the Doctor regenerated into a previous face. Speaking of which, in The Day of the Doctor, the 11th Doctor meets a museum curator, which is actually 4th Doctor Tom Baker. The curator indicated that the Doctor would at some point revisit some old favorites when it came to faces. The implication was that at some point down the line, the Doctor regenerates back into the look of Baker's Doctor, and now he can add the 10th Doctor to his list of favorite faces. As the Doctor narrates, we get a flashback montage of his time with Donna, intercut with Donna saying that sometimes she has dreams about impossible things. And we see some of these impossible things in this montage. The TARDIS hurtling through space, the Arachnos Queen from the episode The Runaway Bride, Donna's introduction. Then we see a Dalek stalk, a close-up of a Sontaran face, a dead astronaut in a spacesuit from Silence in the Library, Donna helping pilot the TARDIS, the base of the Shadow Proclamation, which is basically the space police, only seen on screen during the Stolen Earth, but invoked often by Doctor Who, including in this episode. Then we see the Wasp from the episode The Unicorn and the Wasp, which was the Agatha Christie one. Then this rock creature breathing out fire, which is a pyrovile from the Fires of Pompeii, which featured Peter Capaldi. And then we end on a shot of a satellite in space. After traveling with the Doctor, Donna's memory was wiped when she merged with some of his DNA, turning her into the Dr. Donna, or the Meta-Crisis Doctor. She essentially took the power of a Time Lord into her mind, but since humans aren't meant to do that, her brain started burning up, hence the memory wipe. The Doctor put a failsafe in her brain so that if she does start to remember, it released this sort of electrical pulse thing to incapacitate nearby enemies, but if she ever truly remembers for any period of time, she will die. Tennant's Doctor last saw her when he was dying and doing a farewell tour of sorts. He dropped by her wedding to give a winning lottery ticket to her mom and grandfather to set up his best friend for life. So we transition from this montage into a brand new opening sequence. With every new Doctor, the show does a new remix of the theme song and newly designed credits. This is our first look at this one. The logo itself looks like a throwback, something that carries through to the new TARDIS design interior, and fitting exciting since this whole moment in Who history is a bit of a throwback. This is a much more kinetic and action-filled intro and much more physical as we see the TARDIS push through gas clouds and the camera snap zooms to it. Tennant was known during his run for his youthful energy, often running around with the demeanor of a toddler, and this is an indication that we are going to get a return to form. So this episode was written by Davies with a story by Dave Gibbons and Pat Mills. It's based on the Star Beast comic from 1980, which is written by Mills and drawn by Gibbons, who is also the artist behind Watchmen. So it was actually a fourth Doctor story adapted here for the 14th. The TARDIS materializes in an alley in London, and 14 enjoys a brief stroll around, passing by a Cyberdog store, which is apparently a real clothing store, but also likely a nod to Cybermen in K9, the Doctor's robot dog. But it has these big silver statues out in front that look like they could come to life and start killing people. 14 sees a woman struggling with a large amount of boxes and, always helpful, offers to carry some, but when he sees that it's Donna, he freaks out. She calls out for Rose, and we think for a moment that we're about to see Billie Piper, the modern era Doctor's first companion, and 14 says, "What? What?" In exactly the same way he said it when he first met Donna and when he transformed into 14. But companion Rose Tyler is currently in a parallel universe, and it turns out that Rose is the name of Donna's teenage kid. Yasmine Finney plays Rose Noble, a character with the combined names of the 10th Doctor's two most loved companions. Finney is a trans woman, which is worked into the plot of this episode. The emoji smiley face on Rose's bag kind of reminds me of the robot faces from the episode Smile. Donna is completely oblivious to the chaos going on, which is a running joke with her that she always misses everything. When Donna woke up after having her memory wiped, she said,
"My phone's gone mad, 32 texts, Venus gone balmy, she's saying planets in the sky, what have I missed now?"
And when she woke up again after her memory wipe failsafe kicked in, she said,
"Did I miss something? Again?"
Donna tells Rose that she is worse than her great-granddad, and the Doctor takes note of this mention. Donna's granddad, Wilfred Mott, 10 sacrificed his life in Wilfred's place. Wilfred used to sit in his backyard with his telescope looking at the stars. Wilfred saw 10 teleport away from him the very first time they met in Voyage of the Damned, and he probably told his family all about that encounter. Maybe this is what led to his reputation here of saying fantastical things that Donna assumes are false. Wilfred was played by actor Bernard Cribbins, and fun fact, he played a companion to the Doctor in a 1966 Doctor Who film. He came back in this different role 41 years later. He is the only actor ever to play two different companions to the Doctor. Cribbins passed away in 2022, but he managed to film some scenes for these last specials before his death. Donna calls the Doctor Skinny Man, continuing the ongoing bit of her giving him nicknames like Spaceman and repeatedly telling people that he's way too skinny for her tastes anytime anyone wondered if they were a couple. The spaceship crash here is reminiscent of Aliens in London, where a spaceship crashes into Big Ben, and also Voyage of the Damned, where a space Titanic almost, but not quite, crashes into Buckingham Palace. Both of these episodes were written by Davies, so that dude must just love a space crash. When the Doctor goes to the taxi driven by Donna's husband, the psychic paper still refers to him as a woman. It clearly hasn't caught up yet after Jodie Whittaker's regeneration, and we get to hear Ten's catchphrase that we've been missing for all these years. In the taxi, Ten brings up Neris, who is Donna's best frenemy that she was often complaining about during her run. He also finds out that Donna gave the lottery money away, which confounds him because the Donna he knew would have never done that. At the crash site, Unit is already on the scene. Unit has been around since the classic Who days. That stands for Unified Intelligence Task Force, changed from United Nations Task Force after the UN asked them to change it. They're basically a fictional military organization created to investigate paranormal and extraterrestrial activity. It used to be led by Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, now run by his daughter, Kate Stewart. The Doctor has worked with them for years, although he dislikes the military aspect of it and anything involving guns, so sometimes they butt heads. The place where the ship set down is the Milson Wagner Steelworks, a nod to Pat Mills and John Wagner, the writers of the comic this story is based on. As Donna and Rose head home, some crappy kids taunt Rose using her dead name, and we see Donna's protective mom instincts kick into high gear. Rose is clearly used to this though, and takes it as a reality of her life. Jacqueline King is back playing Donna's mom, Sylvia, and we learn that Donna has lost another job, again, a running bit for her. Her mom knows that if she ever regains her memories, she'll die, so she's really downplaying the whole alien spaceship crashing in London thing. Donna and Sylvia have a really nice conversation about Rose and about trans issues, and it's clear that both of these women are super accepting and just trying their best. And it's really nice to see these issues actually discussed instead of like just being glossed over. Oh, one-shot energy, huh? I think I'll try it. Whoa! Oh, yeah. So what does one-shot's focus shoe do? What? So one shot really is all you need. Begin your transformation with one shot energy today by going to oneshotenergy.com/new rockstars for 10% off your order. Sylvia mentions that she ran into Susie Mayer, who was referenced once as a friend of Donna's. It's interesting that she said she was shorter, obviously. Like, I wonder what's making people shorter. Ten and Donna were investigating adipose, a drug that was supposed to help people lose weight, but turned out to be a race of little blob babies made of fat. Yeah, this show is insane. But there is some similar alien thing that's making people shorter or something. Donna says that her granddad stopped talking about UFOs and aliens one day out of the blue. Again, that's because he wanted to protect her and prevent her from remembering her travels with the doctor. The cover story for why Donna can't remember a huge chunk of time is that she had a breakdown, but she has a lingering feeling that that isn't the whole story. Outside her house, Rose runs into the Meep, who's just as adorable initially as in the comics. Apparently the comic was originally in black and white and had different color editions where sometimes the Meep was blue and sometimes it was white, so it's finally confirmed what the official color is. And I love the initial character design of the Meep. It's got some mix of like Baby Yoda puppetry with the huge eyes and the pointy ears, some Gremlins vibes obviously, but also specifically with the long fingers. It's borrowing the original puppet design for E.T., where Steven Spielberg was able to get so much humanity, not just out of the eyes, but the long fingers and the way they would slowly clasp things. The bug things we meet are the Worths from the same comic run. They have the very classic Doctor Who monster design, big eyes, rubbery costumes, sort of awkward movements. Again, kind of a throwback. We see the new function of the sonic screwdriver, and when he uses it to draw the square, it reminds me a lot of Mia Wallace drawing the square from Pulp Fiction. This is a redesigned sonic screwdriver. Interestingly, it's not the same one Tennant used to have, like the interior of the TARDIS or the redesigned intro titles. The sonic screwdriver changes design with each Doctor. He puts on glasses as he looks at the screen. He previously said he wears glasses because they make him look clever, but that was many hundreds of thousands of years ago. Judging the Doctor's age is very hard for a number of reasons, so maybe he actually needs the glasses from time to time. The new unit scientific advisor is Shirley Ann Bingham. She is the 56th person to hold that title. Number 1 was the Doctor. And we also saw Osgood from Capaldi's run and Malcolm Taylor from Planet of the Dead as former scientific advisors. As the Doctor tells Shirley about Donna, he says,
"And she was my best friend in the whole wide universe. I absolutely love her." Oh, do I say things like that now?
The Doctor has always been incredibly stingy with telling people he loves them, but that might be changing after Whittaker's run. The Doctor says that the universe is turning around her again. Ten and Donna did have a lot of coincidences that brought them together, and those ended up being the work of Dalek Khan, who was manipulating time so that the Daleks, who he had come to despise, would be destroyed by Dr. Donna. We didn't get any answers in this episode about what's drawing these two together. Again, my suspicion is that it has something to do with the Celestial Toymaker, the old foe who's confirmed to be coming back, played by Neil Patrick Harris. The unit team gets infected by the creature in the ship. Shirley wasn't able to traverse the stairs with them, so she is spared for now. As Rose chats with the Meep, again given some clear E.T. vibes, hiding amongst the stuffed animals, saying it wants to go home, big eyes, bony fingers. Donna says that the woman from Abu Dhabi who buys all of Rose's toys is obsessed with Gonks. Those are UK toys from the 60s with big googly eyes and hairy bodies. Knowing what we find out later about these toys, I have to wonder who this one from Abu Dhabi is. Maybe a former companion of the Doctor or a past or future incarnation of the Doctor. Donna also mentions the Great British Sewing Bee, a British reality show where contestants complete in sewing challenges. All hell breaks loose when Donna discovers the Meep and the Doctor shows up. Sylvie slaps him, continuing a long history of people slapping the Doctor. He says, "Here we go again," because they took a slap break when Whittaker was a Doctor, probably assuming it would be a bit cringy with a woman on the receiving end. The infected unit soldiers tried to deter Major Singh. He could be part of the Singh family that showed up in a few past episodes, as well as Class, a Doctor Who spinoff. Ram Singh was one of the main characters in that show. He was 17 in 2016, so he'd be like 24 now. And then this actor looks a bit older than that, but it could be an older brother or something. Sylvie blames the Doctor for showing up right as everything goes wrong, just like companion Rose's mom, Jackie Tyler, once did. Wilfred comes up again. Apparently, Unit has been looking after him, and the Doctor says he loved that man, proving again that he is a warmer, cuddlier version than his previous self. The Doctor bonds with the Meep over their 2 hearts and shared use of articles instead of pronouns. There's also a parallel in the fact that they're both kind of the last of their kind. As he holds out his sonic screwdriver, Donna takes it almost unconsciously from him, falling right back into step. The neighbor kid with the glasses watching everything go down is Fudge Merchandani. He's based on Fudge Higgins from the comics. Knowing Doctor Who, we're gonna see more of him in a later episode. The Doctor uses a sonic screwdriver to resonate concrete, something number 9 did, and the Doctor dances to escape the gas mask kids. Sean Temple points out that this is mortar, not concrete, continuing the tradition of people who point out inane details instead of people freaking freaking out at alien chaos around them. The group escapes by moving from houses via connected attics. This is something we saw in The Magician's Nephew, one of the books in C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. It's just kind of a British thing. They pass by the sleeping guy who is a poster for the Comeback UK tour of the band Red Dawn. In the parking garage, the Doctor dons the same or a very similar wig as the one he wore in The Stones of Blood. He invokes the Shadow Proclamation Protocol 15P and 6. This is something 10 used to invoke all the time, and Rose Tyler tried to do when bluffing to the Sycorax in the Christmas Invasion.
I address the Sycorax according to Article 15 of the Shadow Proclamation.
It's great to see how much fun Tennant is having revisiting the character. The Doctor gets knocked out, which is also a running thing. In the truck, we find out that Donna gave away the lottery money because there are places out there where people are in danger and in pain, and I could help. It just felt like the sort of thing he would have done. She's remembering the Doctor without really remembering the Doctor. Doctor number 7 famously said, "Somewhere there's danger, somewhere there's injustice, somewhere the tea is getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do." His legacy lives on in the lives of the people he's touched. So the Meep turns out to be evil and super creepy. This voice switch from cute to evil is just amazing.
Oh, to hell with this!
The Meep is voiced by Miriam Margolyes, who's been in a ton of things. She was Professor Sprout in the Harry Potter films and the voice of the matchmaker in Mulan. 90s Disney. Tennant flips and catches a sonic screwdriver in one hand just like he used to, and when he tells Donna that she can't get involved, she gives him the Donna look. These two are so great together. It's like no time has passed. We get some very classic number 10 acting in this scene. He always went for big emotions and was very comfortable displaying anger, resentment, fear, as opposed to many of the other Doctors who were more emotionally guarded. Here he screams, "Why does it have to be this?" It reminded me a lot of when he forced himself to save Wilfred and was basically ranted about how it's unfair for him to have to die to save an old, insignificant human.
I could do so much more! So much more!
A sentiment he obviously didn't mean. The way the glass separates the Doctor and Donna actually looks a lot like when he was separated from Wilfred by the glass. But this time, he can't die to save her, so he uses the code words to activate her, knowing it will mean losing his best friend all over again. He recites Westerly, Pelican, Dreams, Tornado, Clifftops, Andante, Grief, Fingerprint, Saturation, Sparrow. And on Sparrow, Donna chimes in because she knows them too. They continue on. Dance, Mexico, binary, binary, binary. Some of these words seem like they have meaning in the larger Who universe. Sparrow, for instance, could refer to Sally Sparrow, but others seem like they were just chosen at random. It would be very like Russell T Davies to put a mix of clues and gibberish together to drive fans crazy to try to decode them. Binary was what Donna kept repeating when her brain was burning the first time in Journey's End, and now it makes sense in the grand scheme of things, and as her brain starts to burn with Time Lord energy now, the Meep screams,
And burn!
But Donna is back, baby! And that Meep should be very afraid. Donna, her memory's now intact, scolds the Doctor for the fact that she gave away 166 million pounds just because she was trying to be like him. The two spring into action to save the day.
Channel up the booster drive!
Infiltrate the plexi drive!
And shutter fry the positrons! Yes!
That, "oh yes," is said with the same intonation as number 10 used to say it.
Oh yes!
We get another round of, "What?"
What?
What? What?
Tennant's specialty.
What? Who are you? Where am I?
What?
What the hell is this place?
What?
Donna is descending, calling back the moment when she told Rose earlier that if anyone has a go, I will be there and I will descend. There is a terrible moment where we think Donna is dead, only to learn that the medic crisis passed down along the bloodline to Rose, and now it is shared between the two of them. And this is why Rose has lingering memories from her mom's life with the Doctor. She chose the name Rose because that was his companion. Her shed in the backyard is like the TARDIS, and all the toys she creates are from images of the aliens Donna met. A Dalek, a Jadoon, a Cyberman, an Adipose, and this fizzy pink one that looks like a Lupari, despite the fact that we never saw Donna meet one of those. And then finally, an Ood, the creature that predicted Donna would turn into the Dr. Donna. Earlier, we saw another stuffed animal that looks like Satan from the episode The Satan Pit. We get to this great moment.
We are binary.
She's not, because the Doctor's
Male.
and female.
And neither. And more.
The Doctor has always represented more than what any human can comprehend at any given moment. The Meep is detained and sent off, leaving these cryptic words behind.
A creature with two hearts is such a rare thing. Just wait till I tell the boss.
we're definitely going to see this Meep again. This boss in question could be the Master, could be the Celestial Toy Maker, maybe Davros, the creator of the Daleks, or any number of the Doctor's old enemies. Donna and Rose are able to let the Time Lord energy go, so neither of them will die, and Donna gets to retain her memories, and really, this is just a great rewrite of an ending for a character who deserved a better fate than the one she originally got. Donna decides to go on one last trip with the Doctor to visit her granddad, and we finally get to see the redesigned TARDIS interior. This time, it's even bigger on the inside, and there are ramps which allow Tennant to run and play and get his boundless kid-like energy out. It looks kind of retro. Like at first it almost looks black and white, like original Doctor Who in the 60s. Donna tells the Doctor that this doesn't have to be some big goodbye and that he can come and visit his friends. This part reminded me of Sarah Jane Smith telling Ten in School Reunion that he abandoned her and that she waited for him.
I couldn't.
Why not?
He isn't good about going back to his old companions. He doesn't like endings. And clumsy Donna makes her mother's fears come true. She spills coffee on the console and the TARDIS freaks out, malfunctioning and sending them hurtling into anywhere in time and space. The cloister bell rings. Whenever that happens, you know some shit's gonna go down. There are 2 more episodes of these specials, Wild Blue Yonder dropping December 2nd and The Giggle coming December 9th. I can't wait to see what happens next. New Rockstars is gonna continue breaking down these for you, but I am going on paternity leave. So it's going to be another person from the New Rockstars team covering these. Jessica Clemens is back to cover for me during this period, as well as some other familiar faces from the New Rockstars team. So please support them as you've always supported me, and thank you so much for that support. Subscribe to New Rockstars, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.